Hey there, tech fans. Rick here again with another review. And today, I have the Blink Mini Pan Tilt Camera. This is a brand new product from Blink, and it actually allows you to pan around the room to see what's going on. So you can do almost a 360-degree pan with the camera, and you can look up and down. So there isn't a corner of that room that you can't aim this camera at to see what's going on. Now, it's a new product from Blink, but it folds right into the Blink application you're already using if you have a Blink outdoor camera or a Blink indoor camera or another Mini. And what's really cool about this system is that it's the Mini camera, just like the one you may own already, which will give you 1080p video, high resolution. It's got night vision, it's got two-way audio, it's got a lot of motion detection features built in, so on its own, the camera is pretty amazing. But you can buy this as a kit where you actually get the base and the camera, or you can buy just the base. So if you've got a couple of mini cameras around the house and you want to add that pan tilt function to them, just buy the base, snap the camera on there, and you're all set. The other cool thing is it's really easy to add this to the Blink app because that Blink application sees this just as another camera. So it's a perfect system if you're already running that Blink ecosystem. Now, before I get too deep into the review of the product, I always like to start with an unboxing because I'm always curious about what's in the box when I buy a product. So I'd like to show you everything that's included, and that way you'll understand exactly what you get if you buy this product. And then I'll talk a little bit about the camera setup because the Blink Mini, I've talked about that on the channel before. It's a great little camera. I mean, it's tiny, it's small, it fits anywhere. You can mount it in a ton of different places. You basically plug it into the wall with a USB adapter, connects over Wi-Fi to the sync module, and then you can control it from pretty much anywhere in the world. What this base does, though, is as opposed to being a fixed camera like it is normally, where you're pointing it a certain direction, this base, again, allows you to pivot this way to look around the room, and if something's above you, you can go, wait a minute, what's up there? Let's take a look in the corners up there. How about down there? Is there something going on over there? So you've got pan and tilting on it, which is pretty cool. All right, so once I finish that, then I'll show you how it works because I want to give you some video footage to show you, sort of what it looks like in the room. I'll also take a closer look at it just to show you how you put it together because it's incredibly simple. You'll basically plug this into the back of the camera, snap the camera on the top of it, and plug your cord in the back. But a lot of people like to see me do that, so I'll do that for you as well. And then I'll come back at the end and just talk a little bit about the Blink ecosystem because I really like these Blink products a lot. I use a lot of their outdoor cameras. I have a couple of their indoor cameras. I have a ton of these mini cameras around the house, and I'm not a security freak, but I just like to keep an eye on things when I'm away from home, and we have pets. I always like to take a look and see what the dogs are doing when we're away on vacation, and my son's taking care of them, just to make sure they're sleeping okay and they're getting their food. But anyway, I like the Blink system, and I think it provides a lot of advantages over a lot of more complicated security systems that you may be looking at. So I'll point out a couple of things I really like about the Blink Mini. So let's get into the unboxing. So when you pop open the box, you'll find this beautiful base. Now, it's a weighted base. It's got a good amount of weight to it. So when you put it down on a surface, it's going to stay where you left it. It also has a rubber ring on the bottom of it. So when you put it down, it's not going to scratch the surface. It's also not going to move. And that's important because when you're spinning the camera, there's a lot of inertia to spin that camera. And if this was really lightweight, this would spin, and then you're fighting sort of the base spinning. So I like the fact that there's rubber there. You'll notice on the bottom, a 1/4 inch 20. What that means is you can put this on a tripod if you want, or even a desktop tripod to get it a little bit higher if you need a little extra height. The unit itself has a mounting kit on the top, or a mounting surface on the top that pops into the camera right there. Now, I've talked about this before. It seems like that wouldn't really work well, but I'm telling you, it takes a lot of force to put it on there, and it's not popping off. So once you pop it on there, it's like it's one unit. I also like the color scheme on this. It's really unobtrusive, and I know they make this in black as well. So if you've got the new Blink Mini cameras in black, you can get the base in black. And then there's one micro USB plug in the back of it that's keyed. You couldn't possibly put this in backwards on the camera, but my suggestion would be to plug this into the camera first and then mount the camera on the top. And then on the rear is another micro USB port, and that's where you'll plug in the cable. Now, it also comes with the camera. Now, I bought this as a kit with the base and the camera, so it's a complete setup. But again, you can buy just the base if you already own the cameras. You'll also find a cord, a nice long power cord, which is a USB-A on one end and the micro USB on the other end, which plugs into the bottom of the base. And you'll find a USB charger for the wall. You'll plug this into the wall, you'll plug this end of the cable into the charger, plug this into the camera, and you're all set to go. The only thing you'll have to do is add this to your application, and that's incredibly easy. If you've used the application before, it shouldn't be a big deal. You just go in there and say, hey, I got a new camera, and add this to your camera setup, and you're good to go. You'll find additional controls, though, when this is added to your application that now allow you to sort of pan and tilt up and down and have complete control over it. So if you stay tuned next, I'll take a closer look at the camera. I'll show you how it goes together. I'll give you a couple of examples of what the video looks like and how it can pan around a room. And then I'll come back and remind you of a few things that I really like about the Blink Mini system and Blink cameras in general. So the Blink Mini camera is the same one you've seen before. You have two mounting options. There's a port on the bottom and a port on the back. Normally you can mount this on a stand and set it on a bookshelf or something in the room to capture the video you need. You can also mount it using the port on the back if you're going to mount it to a wall. There's a USB port right there. It's a micro USB connection that you normally plug the power cord into. Now the base has a mount on the top where you actually pop the camera onto it, and I'll show you that in a minute, as well as a flexible cable right here that has a micro USB connection on it. That plugs into the back of the camera, and then you add the power cord right there. And as I mentioned before, on the bottom there's a 1/4" 20 threaded shaft right there that you could mount this if you needed to on a tripod. And you see the rubber ring on the bottom right there to keep it in place and keep it from scratching a surface. Now this can actually tilt down and tilt all the way up to look at the ceiling. And it can also rotate. Now the rotation doesn't happen here, it happens at the base. You can see it rotates left and right, so it does a good job of moving around. Now to add the camera to the base, it's pretty straightforward. You first plug in the cord, and you can do this in any order, but I find that plugging the cord in first really makes it easy. And you'll notice it's keyed. There's actually a couple of angles on the top, and that lines up with the angles in the top here. It makes it impossible for you to plug it in backwards. But plug that cord in first, make sure it's fully seated, and then all you have to do at that point is pop this on top of that mount. Now this takes a little bit of work, and oh, I forgot to mention there's a reset button on the bottom in case you have to reset the camera. But to pop this on, you're going to have to really wrench it in there, and you'll hear it pop on like that. And you'll know it's seated because there's no gap now between the base and the actual camera. And that's it. I mean, the camera itself can at this point spin sideways, it can tilt forward, it can tilt back. Again, you can look right up at the ceiling, so you're getting a lot of really good coverage in the room. I don't think there's a corner in that room that I couldn't scan, so pretty cool and really easy to add. So from the application, you have complete control. You can pan as much as you need to. Again, it's almost a 360-degree turn, so you can cover pretty much every inch of the room. Then you can also tilt. If you want to look down, maybe you got a dog on the floor, or you're curious about something up on the ceiling. Is the ceiling fan going? You can look all the way up in the ceiling. And then if you want to come back to the home position, just tap the home icon in the center. It'll actually bring it right back to the initial position. And it'll record great video when it's moving. And I love the fact that I can pretty much cover every inch of the room by panning and tilting as much as needed to see anything I'm curious about in that particular area. I hope that closer look and demonstration were helpful. Now here are a few things that I really like about the Blink Mini and the Blink products in general that you can use to compare them to other home security cameras and systems you may be considering. For starters, I love that Blink has created an entire ecosystem of products. They've got the Blink Mini camera, which is a small one. They've got a Blink Indoor, which is a little larger camera. They've got the Blink Outdoor. They've got the Blink Doorbell. They make a lot of products that you'll use around the home. And the best part about that is all of them are connected to one application. So you simply open up the Blink app on your phone and you've got access to all your cameras and all the products. A lot of other home security systems, you might buy a camera from this company, a camera from that company, and then you've got to keep track of where those cameras are. So you've got multiple applications on your phone and you're thinking, is that camera in the playroom or the rec room? I don't remember where we put that one. So you've got to open up all these different applications. With Blink, it's one application and everything is in that application. I also love the fact that this can be controlled from a smart speaker. And that's really important for me because we have a lot of smart speakers that have screens on them. So I can be in my office and say, hey, show me the driveway or show me the backyard. And it comes right up on that smart speaker. A lot of other systems claim to do that, but they're kludgy. The way you add them to those smart speakers are difficult. The graphics, or I should say the video, is not that great coming through. It takes a while to wake up the camera to actually show you the video. So with this one, it just works. It works great. Another thing I like about it is the simplicity of the system. I can't tell you what a headache it is to add a lot of those systems to your home network. With this one, you basically install the sync module, and once you install that sync module, which is really easy on your network, all of the cameras talk to that sync module. So that sync module will support up to 10 different cameras, and they can be a mix of Blink Minis, Blink Outdoor, Blink Indoor, Blink Doorbell. All of them connect to that sync module, which makes it incredibly easy to add more products to your system. A lot of other solutions out there talk directly to your network, and then they've got to have their own address, their own IP address, and you're eating up IP addresses by doing that. But the challenge is you've got to keep track of all that stuff, and it gets really complicated. Another cool feature about the Blink modules, I should say the Blink cameras and the Sync module, is that it's persistent. And what I mean by that is we get a lot of power failures out here. I'm sort of in the country in New Jersey, if you can believe there is a country in New Jersey. I'm out in the country, and we're always having power failures during the winter. We get a bad snowstorm or something happens, power goes down. When the power comes back up, the system is ready to go. The other cameras I've tested, they get lost, they get confused. So if my router goes down and comes back up, those cameras have to be talked to a lot. I've got to go out and massage them and authorize them and add them back to the network. With the Blink system, the power goes out, power comes back, all the cameras work. So I love the fact that it's got intelligence built into the Sync module and the communication technology to make it persistent, because I don't want to hassle with it. I want to add the camera and just use the camera. I don't want to fret with it later on. So I like that an awful lot. And other than that, I just think they did a great job in offering you the option of buying the camera. If you already own one, great, but you can also buy it with the base. But if you already own the camera, they'll sell you just the base. So they're giving you a chance to upgrade a piece of equipment you already own and add pan and tilt to it. So they could have, again, just built this as a unit and glued it on there and said, okay, there's our pan tilt camera. That's what you got to buy. But they didn't. They said, you know, we got a lot of people that own that Blink Mini out there. We can sell a base. Let's let them buy the base and add it to their camera, and then they've got an upgraded camera. So I respect the company that thinks about me as a consumer and gives me options like that, because I do have a lot of Blink Mini cameras. I'm not going to put that base on all of them, but there's 3 or 4 rooms in the house that I would love to have a pan and tilt base on it, and I went and I ordered the bases so I can upgrade those cameras. And again, they offer these in both white and black, so if you've got a decor that you wanted to have a black camera that blends a little better, you can go that route. But I just love them. I've been using them for a while. I think this base adds a tremendous amount of functionality to the Blink Mini cameras, and it just works, which is the best part. So I hope you found this review helpful. I appreciate you watching, and until next time, as always, stay nerdy.